The Nintendo 64 is a console which tends to divide most gamers. Launching back in 1996 as the gaming industry's bread and butter while switching from sprites to polygons, the console represents the first time Nintendo really dropped the ball. Tired of the platform holder's licensing terms, many developers jumped ship to Sony's PlayStation, attracted by fairer deals and cheaper disc-based games. In the meantime, Nintendo doubled down on the esoteric piece of hardware with confusing, bright-coloured controllers that were arguably a little out of step with gaming's aging audience. On the other hand, for many gamers, the Nintendo 64 invokes some of the very warmest and strongest game memories. It was while banishing the console's even three-pronged controller that many of us take our first steps into the three-dimensional gaming world. From the Mushroom Kingdoms of Hyrule to the unrivaled excitement of 4-player split screen on Mario Kart and GoldenEye, it holds a special place in many of our hearts. Over this short series of videos, we were looking at 50 of the best games ever released for the Nintendo 64 based on user ratings. Today we will look at the next 10 games in the list ranked from number 40 to 31. Number 40, International Superstar Soccer 2000, user rating 7.91 out of 10. Known as Jikyo J-League 1999 Perfect Striker 2 in Japan, that was a mouthful, this was the most polished of the three ISS outings on Nintendo 64. Although it's also the least played thanks to its relatively late release, launching nearly 2 years after ISS 98 and in the latter part of the console cycle. As a swan song to the series, which sang on 64-bit hardware, ISS 2000 is a fitting send-off. Number 39, Turok 2 Seeds of Evil, user rating 7.92 out of 10. Turok 2 Seeds of Evil was a technical showcase for the system which took the baton from the immensely popular first game and upped the ante in every possible way. Highlights include the expansion pack powered 640x480 resolution visuals and the iconic Cerebral Bore, a gun that fired a brain drilling bullet once you locked onto your enemy's melon. Number 38, Snowboard Kidz 2, user rating 7.93 out of 10. A follow-up to Rajkam's cult classic, Snowboard Kidz 2 predictably picks up where the previous Mario Kart-like downhill cartoon racer left off, with lovable characters, plenty of colour and the kind of multiplayer fun that struck a chord with those who played it. Not that fans in the EU had much choice. Australia was the only PAL region where the sequel saw release. Consequently, SBK2 is one of the most expensive PAL N64 games on the retro market today. Number 37, Tony Hawk's Pro Skater, user score 7.93 out of 10. Tony Hawk's Pro Skater stands up very well gameplay wise on the Nintendo 64, although the reduced storage space on the cartridge versus Sonic's discs mean texture quality and, more importantly, audio quality both took a hit here. It's still a fun way to play the game though if you don't have the PlayStation. Number 36, Ogre Battle 64, Person of Lordly Caliber, user rating 7.94 out of 10. The Nintendo 64 was notoriously underserved in a handful of genres, RPG and fighters among them, but Ogre Hero 64 was a stellar strategy game. Following on from the series' previously appearance on the SNES, it doesn't reinvent the wheel, but it's a fantastic example of the genre. It also features possibly the finest post-colon subtitle in gaming. Number 35, WCW/NWO Revenge, user score 7.96 out of 10. From the makers of the excellent WWF No Mercy, this was the last WCW game AKI worked on before publishing THQ got its hands on the WWF license. WCW/NWO Revenge was light years ahead of acclaimed efforts in the genre elsewhere at the time, but there are those that would argue that it remains one of the best, if not the best wrestling game ever made. Number 34, Mario Party 1, user score 7.99 out of 10. The game that started it all, the series got off to a raucous start with Mario Party and hasn't slowed down since. There are some wild conspiracy theories that Nintendo created this game solely to force the purchase of additional controllers. The game also started many feuds that have lasted a lifetime. Mario Party's slate of minigames truly shines with Bumper Ball Facelift and Mushroom Mix-Up helping to cement a legacy which will last forever. Number 33, Donkey Kong 64, user score 8.01 out of 10. There are some who blame the collapse of the Collectathon 3D platforming craze on Donkey Kong 64. It's hard to argue that Rare went a little too far with the huge number of collectibles it produced. With 5 playable Kongs, huge worlds and an abundance of minigames, DK64 was one hell of a game and still holds up well today. Number 32, Pokémon Snap, user score 8.03 out of 10. The whole concept of catching Pokemon and making them battle each other, it's anything but new. However, shooting at Pokemon certainly was when the game released, and not with a gun but with a camera, while out on safari in a wide range of different settings. Pokémon Snap might only had 63 pocket monsters available, but the outpouring of love shown for the original game with a long-awaited sequel finally coming to the Switch in 2021 is a testament to its charm. The act of hunting down Pokemon only wouldn't be bettered until years later, when Niantic caught the world's attention with, of course, Pokemon Go. Number 31, Pilotwings 64, username 8.05 out of 10. Pilotwings 64 was a brilliant launch title for the system and was showcased its features and provided players with a lovely flight sim adventure. It's also worthy of playing alongside the mighty Super Mario 64. It proved to be a diverting companion piece for early adopters whilst built on a Super SNES original with the gameplay equal parts tense and relaxing. So that's it, so I hope you enjoyed. Of course, punch the like button, comment down below, of course, subscribe to this channel for my Twitter and Instagram links down below as always, and of course we are a partner with TubeBuddy. First link in the description for YouTube link, tag that's fun, all the good stuff, so that's something that you are interested in and will find helpful like I did. First link in the description, trust me, I wonder how you're going to write it. And of course, so I'll partner on the channel, so when you head down below, hit the join button, support myself and the channel, it'd be greatly appreciated for who and your benefits. But of course, you never have to, but if you don't, you have to subscribe and watch the next video. Okay, thanks so much for watching. I'll be next talk today, so I'll see you all again very soon.